Welcome back to the Before AGI podcast. Today we are diving deep into AI products.
Okay.
And not like the robots taking over the world,
All right.
but what's being built like right now,
hmm
the AI that's already changing how we live and work.
Yeah.
And we've got a ton of articles and research to go through. So
Yeah, this is exciting.
yeah.
So I think what's interesting is that we're like way past the hype phase with AI.
Okay.
It's not just like a buzzword anymore.
Right.
Companies are actually launching a ton of AI products and they're actually being used.
Wow.
And they're changing pretty much everything.
Like what?
So many different fields.
Yeah, give me some examples.
Okay, well, one article we looked at talked about how AI is totally changing the real estate market,
Real estate.
which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't think of that as like the first place AI would disrupt.
Right, but imagine like a chatbot that doesn't just like answer your basic questions about a property,
Okay.
but actually like gets to know what you like and suggests places you might not have even considered.
So like it's finding me a house. It's like a
Yeah. Companies like Hyro and Redfin are using AI to do this.
That's kind of cool.
It is.
So it's almost like having a real estate agent.
Exactly, like a
Yeah.
247 one.
Yeah, that just knows what I want
Exactly.
before I even know what I want.
Yeah, and that same idea is being used in like e-commerce.
Oh, interesting.
Businesses are using tools like HubSpot and Pipedrive
Okay.
to look at customer data and then use AI to predict who's most likely to buy.
So it's helping businesses sell more.
Exactly. It helps them focus on the right people.
That makes a lot of sense.
And what I think is super interesting is that now you don't even need to know how to code.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can build an app without coding.
What are you talking about?
No code AI platforms.
Okay.
So like BuildFire AI lets you build a mobile app without any coding knowledge.
That's wild.
I know, right? You answer some questions about your business and the AI does the rest.
So like anyone can build an app now. That's crazy. AI is doing so much.
Right. We've got it helping us buy houses, sell products, and even build apps.
You're on what?
Another area where AI is making a big impact is security.
The security.
Yeah, those crime prevention cameras?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now imagine them with AI.
Okay.
So they can like detect threats, but also recognize people who are allowed to be there.
So it knows who should be there and who shouldn't.
Yeah, companies like AI Guardman and Lighthouse are doing this.
Wow, that sounds like something straight out of a movie.
It does, right. It uses these object detection systems that are trained on tons of data.
Okay.
So it's not just detecting movement, it's actually understanding what it's seeing.
So it can tell if it's an actual threat.
Exactly. And that level of sophistication is only possible because of the huge amount of data it learns from.
So AI is like learning to see.
Yeah, in a way it is.
This is all pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm guessing building all these AI products,
Yeah.
it can't be easy.
Oh, it's definitely not easy. There are some big challenges. One of the biggest is data.
Okay.
AI needs a lot of data to learn, and it has to be the right data.
So it's not just like any data will do.
Right. It needs to be high quality, accurate, and unbiased.
That makes sense.
Think about teaching a kid with like 1 million textbooks.
Okay.
You need the right textbooks, and they need to be organized.
So data is like the foundation of AI.
Exactly. And even with good data, there are other challenges like finding that balance in training.
Training.
Yeah, like when you train an AI model, you don't want to overfit it.
Overfitting.
Like when you cram for a test and just memorize answers without understanding the concepts,
I see.
if an AI model is overfit, it will do great on the data it was trained on, but fail in real-world situations.
So it's like that student who gets an A on the test but can't apply anything.
Exactly. And then there's the opposite problem, underfitting.
Underfitting.
Yeah, that's like not studying enough.
Okay.
The model's too simple and can't handle the complexity of the data.
I see.
It's like trying to write a novel with only a few words.
So you need to find that sweet spot.
Right, between overfitting and
It
underfitting.
could work in the real world.
Exactly. And to make things even harder, the world of AI is changing so fast.
Oh, yeah. Seems like there's something new every day.
Exactly. New technologies, new best practices. It's a whirlwind.
It must be hard to keep up.
It's like trying to hit a moving target. Developers need to be super adaptable.
That sounds exhausting.
It can be, but it's also what makes it so exciting.
Okay, so even with all these challenges,
Yeah.
companies are still building all these amazing AI products.
They are. And it makes you wonder what the future holds.
It really does.
Yeah.
It feels like we're just at the beginning of this AI revolution.
I think so too. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the potential of AI is really mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'd say so.
As these technologies get better and we learn to handle the challenges,
Yeah.
The possibilities are practically limitless.
It's really an exciting time.
It is.
And it's clear that AI is not just some fad. It's a fundamental shift in how we interact with technology.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about this huge increase in AI product development. We
Right.
talked about the challenges of building AI.
Uh-huh.
And we even touched on that no-code AI,
Yeah.
which is still kind of blowing my mind.
You know, it's wild.
But before we go too deep into the technical stuff,
Okay.
let's bring it back to our listeners.
Sure.
What does all this mean for them?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think the answer is pretty simple.
Great.
AI isn't some futuristic fantasy anymore.
Right.
It's here, it's evolving super fast, and it's impacting almost every part of our lives.
So it's not just about tech enthusiasts then?
No, not at all. Whether you're into tech or a business leader or just curious about the future, understanding AI is becoming more and more important.
So this isn't just about cool gadgets.
Right.
It's about understanding what's shaping our world.
Exactly. And as AI keeps developing, it's going to be even more important to understand these conversations.
That's a good point. You know, I'm kind of feeling inspired to learn more about AI.
Me too.
And maybe even try building something with one of those no-code platforms.
Yeah, those platforms are great.
We haven't even talked about generative AI yet,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
like ChatGPT and DALL-E.
Right. Generative AI is definitely getting a lot of attention.
And for good reason.
Yeah, it goes beyond just analyzing data. It
Okay.
can create new content,
Yeah.
like text, images, music, even code.
So it's like AI is becoming creative.
In a way, yeah, it's blurring the lines between human creativity and artificial intelligence.
That's kind of freaky.
It is a little, but it's also really exciting.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like imagine AI writing marketing copy or creating custom playlists.
Right. The possibilities are huge.
But what does that mean for human creators?
That's a question a lot of people have.
Are we all going to be replaced by robots?
I don't think so. Remember we talked about how AI needs human oversight?
Right.
It's a tool, and it's up to humans to use it responsibly.
So it's more about humans and AI working together.
Exactly like a partnership.
Okay. I like that better than robots taking over.
You too.
So are there real-world examples of this partnership happening?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like what?
In healthcare, AI can analyze medical images,
Okay.
which can help doctors make better diagnoses.
But the doctor's still making the final call.
Exactly. They bring their experience and judgment to the table.
It's good to know.
Another example is in travel.
Okay.
AI chatbots can help with customer support, answer questions, and even suggest trips.
That's cool.
But for more complicated stuff, a human agent can step in.
So it's about finding the right balance.
Exactly, between AI and human interaction.
And that balance will probably keep changing as AI gets better.
I think so for sure, and that's what makes this whole field so interesting.
It really is. And it's
Yeah.
not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we choose to use it and how we shape its development.
Exact.
Well said. You know, we haven't even talked about the ethical implications of all this.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Like, how do we make sure AI is used for good?
That's a big question.
And how do we prevent bias
Right.
and protect privacy?
Yeah, those are all important considerations.
And make sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Absolutely.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
It's not just about the technology, but also about the social, ethical, and even philosophical questions.
Definitely.
And those questions are only going to get more important as AI keeps evolving.
Absolutely.
Well, it's clear that we're just starting to explore this whole AI thing.
Yeah, we've only just scratched the surface.
But hopefully this deep dive has given our listeners a better understanding of where AI is at today,
I hope so.
the challenges and the opportunities it brings, and how important it is to be informed and think critically about it.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, before we really get into the ethical side of AI,
Okay.
let's take a quick break and then we'll come back to continue our deep dive.
Sounds good. So, when we talk about ethical AI, one of the big things is bias.
Right, Bob.
We touched on this with data sets.
Uh-huh.
If an AI model learns from biased data, it's going to make biased decisions.
Right.
And that's a big problem.
Especially for things like hiring or loans or even the justice system.
Exactly. High stakes stuff.
It's like those sci-fi movies where AI is judging people based on like unfair algorithms.
Yeah, it's a real concern.
So how do we fix this bias problem? Can we even make AI that's not biased?
It's tough, but it's something a lot of people are working on.
Right.
One thing is making sure the data used to train these AI models is diverse.
Diverse.
Like it needs to represent the real world, get rid of those stereotypes.
Right, because if the data is biased, then the AI is just going to learn those biases.
Exactly. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Makes sense.
And it's not just the data itself.
Okay.
It's also about having diverse teams of people building these systems.
So like people from different backgrounds with different experiences.
Exactly. They're more likely to spot biases in the data or the algorithms.
So a diverse team can help make sure the AI is fair.
That's the idea, like a checks and balances system.
But even with diverse data and diverse teams, can we ever be totally sure AI isn't biased?
That's a really good question, and honestly, it's tough. Even with good intentions, unconscious bias can still happen.
Right.
So it's important to create a culture of ethical awareness.
Like among the developers?
Exactly. They need to constantly be questioning their assumptions.
Okay.
And testing for bias and being open to feedback.
So it's not just about technical solutions.
Right.
It's about the people building these systems being responsible.
Exactly. It's about having the right mindset and asking the tough questions.
And this ties into transparency too, right?
Absolutely. It's not enough to just say, trust us, our AI is fine.
Yeah.
We need to understand how these AI models are making decisions.
Especially if those decisions are affecting people's lives.
Right. We need to be able to trace back those decisions and see if there's any bias.
So no more black boxes.
Exactly. We need AI systems that are explainable.
And accountable.
Right. And that's where things get tricky because these systems are so complex.
Yeah, how do you even make something that complicated transparent?
It's a big challenge, but researchers are working on it.
Okay.
There's a whole field of research focused on making AI more transparent and interpretable.
So like being able to peek inside and see how it's thinking.
Exactly. It's about understanding the logic behind the AI's decisions.
That's good to hear. It seems like people are taking these ethical challenges seriously.
Yeah, there's definitely a growing movement towards responsible AI.
And it's not just coming from researchers.
Right. It's coming from governments, organizations, and even everyday users.
So people are starting to understand how powerful this technology is.
Yeah, and how important it is to use it for good.
It's like a collective responsibility.
Absolutely. AI has the potential to do so much good in the world. Like improving healthcare, addressing climate change, and even creating new forms of art.
But we need to be careful.
Right. We need to be mindful of the risks and work together to make sure AI benefits everyone.
And that brings us back to why we do this podcast.
Right.
To explore AI before we get to that point of like super intelligent AI.
Exactly. We want to understand all the nuances, the challenges, and the possibilities.
So we can guide AI in the right direction.
Exactly. It's crucial to have these conversations and think about the ethical implications.
We're not just watching this happen.
No, we have a voice and we need to use it.
So for our listeners who are new to AI, what's the one thing they should remember?
I'd say approach it with curiosity and an open mind.
Okay.
Don't be scared of how complex it is.
Yeah, it can seem overwhelming.
There are lots of resources out there to help you learn.
Like online courses.
Yeah, and great YouTube channels like Ian Ochieng AI.
That's a good one.
He has some really helpful tutorials and insights.
And learning about AI isn't just for tech people.
No, it's for everyone.
Yeah, whether you're a student, a business person, an artist, or just a curious person.
Understanding AI is becoming so important.
So stay informed, keep learning, and get involved in these conversations.
Exactly. Help shape the future of AI in a way that benefits us all. That's a great message, we've talked about so much today.
We have.
From all those new AI products to the challenges of building it, the ethical issues, no-code AI, generative AI.
It's been a lot.
It has, and it's just the beginning.
Yeah, AI is constantly changing. There's always something new.
Exactly. So much more to learn and explore.
And that's why we do this podcast.
To help people understand this crazy world of AI.
So if you enjoyed this deep dive, please subscribe to the Before AGI podcast.
And don't forget to check out Ian Ochieng AI on YouTube for some great tutorials.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Another big thing when it comes to responsible AI is privacy.
Oh yeah, privacy, that's huge.
Especially with all this data AI systems collect and analyze.
It's kind of scary how much data is out there.
It is. There are serious questions about how that data is being used and protected.
Yeah, like how do we balance the benefits of AI with keeping our information safe?
Right. It's a tough balance.
It feels like everywhere you go online, someone's tracking you.
It's true. They're collecting data on everything you do.
You're shopping, you're browsing, even where you walk.
And with AI, all that data can be analyzed in ways we don't even understand yet.
It's a little unsettling.
I get it. And that's why we need strong privacy laws.
So rules about how companies can use our data?
Yeah. to give people control over their information and hold companies accountable.
So transparency and control for individuals and responsibility for companies.
That's the idea. Are there any ways to actually protect our privacy in this AI age?
Like other tools or something?
There are actually some really interesting things being developed.
Right.
They're called privacy-enhancing technologies, or PPs.
PTs, like the animals.
Okay,
good.
These are tools that let AI learn from data without actually seeing the raw data itself.
Wait, what? How is that even possible?
It's like baking a cake without looking at the recipe or touching the ingredients.
That sounds impossible.
But it's not. There are a few different approaches.
Like what?
One is called federated learning.
Federated learning?
Yeah, where the AI model is trained on data that's spread out across lots of devices.
Okay.
But all that data never comes together in one place.
So it's like baking a cake, but each ingredient is in a different kitchen.
Exactly. And somehow you still end up with a whole cake.
That's mind-blowing. So no one can see all the data.
Right. It's a decentralized approach, which makes it way harder to misuse data.
That's awesome. Are there other techniques like that?
Yeah, there's something called differential privacy.
Differential privacy, okay.
Which adds a bit of noise to the data before the AI uses it.
Noise?
Yeah, like statistical noise, so it's hard to identify individuals in the data.
Oh, so it's like making the data blurry.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Wow. These privacy tools sound amazing.
They really are, and it's a growing field as people realize how important privacy is.
I'm glad to hear that. So we've talked about so much in this deep dive.
We really have.
AI products, the challenges of building AI, ethical considerations like bias and privacy.
And responsible development.
We even got into no-code AI and generative AI.
It's been a wild ride.
It has, and the main thing for our listeners to remember is that AI is not some far-off thing. It's here. It's now, and it's affecting all of us.
Definitely, we need to stay informed, talk about these issues, and be a part of shaping the future of AI.
So it's not just about the technology.
Right.
It's about how we use it and what kind of future we want to create.
That's right. It's up to all of us.
Well said. And if you want to learn more, subscribe to the Before AGI podcast.
And for those who want to dive in and get hands-on, check out Ian Ochieng AI on YouTube.
He's got some great tutorials and insights to help you get started.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, the future of AI is in our hands.